What if Darkrai was in Gen 1 Ubers? Happy Halloween, everybody. Originally, I was going to do a Ghost-type Pokemon, as that seemed pretty spooky enough. But I had a talk with my friend Vinton Majora, and he convinced me to do Darkrai, which is a much better idea. Ooh, Darkrai. He used to be the king, the one that everybody feared with his signature move, but then Game Freak, with the divine intervention, decided that Smeargle not being allowed to use the move, that wasn't good enough. Let's just like nerf Darkrai too. He deserved it. You definitely were going to use Darkrai in VGC. Now like Mythicals are banned. But anyways, this isn't about the modern gen. It's about the original generation. One where the dark type is never seen and sweep mechanics are at their strongest. How busted would Darkrai be? I'll tell you right now. He's good. Like, stupid good. But I don't think you're very surprised by that, are you? Where do I even start? Like, obviously that typing. In most gens, Pure Dark isn't very good. But here in Gen 1, just like the Ghost type, it's just good enough on its own to be a great defensive type. And that's all you need. Does Darkrai have stab? No, he doesn't care. He has 135 special, which is insane. Not to mention base 125 speed. The only thing relevant that outspeeds him is Jolteon and Mewtwo. And we already know that this guy has sweep moves. So, just the fastest sweep setter in the game that is immune to Psychic. And he hits hard. Not even just on the special side. Base 90 is pretty good for Gen 1. Even base 70 HP isn't bad. He's just a monster that can just destroy everything. It's honestly, there isn't really that much to say about him, which is unfortunate. But what else can I say other than just he's insanely good? But how good are we talking? Well, his main move would most likely be Wizard, as it's just a really strong special move that he can spam. He also has Thunderbolt for bulk brain coverage. If you want to waste your Darkrai, you can give it Haze. If you're just really scared that like Amnesia Snorlax or Sword Stance Hitler is gonna take... Did I just say Sword Stance Hitler instead of Sword Stance Kingler? You know what? I'm not doing a second take. We're keeping that in. That is funny. If Sword Stance Kingler, if you're scared of that, you can use Haze. Oh boy, there goes any dramatic tension in this video. I really hope that becomes a meme. Anyway, back on track. He has Ice Beam. We want to conserve power points. Nightshade, technically good all around. Nice getting consistent damage in. Maybe better for like Mewtwo, since Mewtwo can use Amnesia. You have Psychic, which is also your second main move if you want. Rock Slide, if you just want another physical move that isn't Hyper Beam. He has Spacer Wind, strangely enough. Sword Stance, which is good. And even though it's not the most optimal set, Sword Stance Darkrai is automatically the best Sword Stance user next to Mew. And along with Thunderbolt, he also has Thunder Wave. So if you want to be the fastest, dual setter in the game, you can also do that as well. Which in of itself isn't that bad, but I would argue not as good in Ubers exactly, where Mewtwo kind of wants to be paralyzed. And like I said, he has Hyper Beam, and if you want to ban his signature, you have Hypnosis instead. And I would definitely argue, even without Dark Void, Hypnosis would be amazing. He also has Flash if he wants to be like annoying. But the main star of the show is Dark Void. An 80% accurate sweep move. That's insane. Especially for a Pokemon that outspeeds everything that isn't Mewtwo and Jolteon. I don't even need to explain why this would be broken in Gen 1. And even when Hypnosis would be good enough. Now, let's just look at these first 3 replays, where there's not much competition. It's just Darkrai dominating. Where even Pokemon that could threaten it, like Tauros with Body Slam or Hyper Beam, are just powerless. And look at that, you don't even need Blizzard. Even just Thunderbolt is I think it's a 3-hit KO. Even if it isn't, Blizzard definitely is. And then what do you have against this? Amnesia Snorlax? Bad chance, Darkrai's just gonna get a Dark Void up. And even if like Snorlax wakes up, or is really tanky, Darkrai can always just outspeed and put it back to sleep. Even though it really wants to put something to sleep, even if something's already asleep, it's still a massive threat. Especially with that ridiculous crit range. Or crit rate, I mean. It's just, there's nothing else you can really do. And then even the special wall, Chansey, even without like Sword Stance, there's nothing Chansey can do. Now, granted, a paralyzed Chansey will be able to be a significantly bigger threat, and maybe it's enough to where you kind of want to use a physical move. But even then, what does Chansey really do against Darkrai? I mean, I guess it can paralyze it. And admittedly, paralysis is probably Darkrai's main weakness. It's much more reasonable to take out once it is paralyzed, because suddenly it doesn't outspeed everything, meaning sweep is, less dangerous. Not to mention, if you already have something else that's paralyzed, it can suddenly wall Darkrai's Dark Void. So yeah, either way, paralysis is the main weapon against Darkrai. But how does it do against Mewtwo? Now this is an interesting show for sure. Since Mewtwo is faster, it can quickly get up in Amnesia at the very least, meaning that it can tank Darkrai's moves really, really well. And the only way Darkrai can even think about being able to damage Mewtwo is with Sword Stance. And you need 2. You need 2 Sword Stance just to bring Mewtwo to red. Now granted, Dark Void definitely will hit, and you wouldn't be wasting a turn using, like Blizzard. So maybe Darkrai should have won this replay, but either way, it could go either way. And yeah, I'm gonna say it's more so in Mewtwo's favor. So even with a Dark type that's fast and has the best sweep move ever, Mewtwo's still the king of Gen 1. It's impossible to beat. You gotta respect that. Mew doesn't have the same luxury, unfortunately. Now granted, it's still gonna take a few hits in order to take out Mew, but Darkrai's faster, so it just puts Mew to sleep. So what do you really do? Nothing really. On the bright side though, Explosion doesn't OHKO. Just most of your health. But when only Jolteon and Mewtwo outspeed you, losing most of your health, I don't know how I messed that line up so badly. Either way, Jolteon, Mewtwo, nothing else. You're not scared of being a red because nothing else can hurt you. There, that was easy to say. In order to distract you guys from that horrible delivery, here is Darkrai destroying Cloyster with Thunderbolt, showing how even without, sweet moves, it's still dangerous, and because of how high his special is, if he's hitting super effectively, you wouldn't even know it's not stab. So, I'll only have one more replay, and it's actually with Jolteon, because ironically, Jolteon becomes very relevant in a meta with Darkrai. And yeah, I'm gonna say it now. Even if you aren't using Pin Missile like you saw there, it's still gonna be more relevant and useful than Zapdos. Because outspeeding Darkrai and then paralyzing it could quite literally save you the game. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And I know the electric types have been on the decline lately because Rhydon's been more popular, especially Jolteon. But heck, we are giving Jolteon a comeback. We are going to make Darkrai a thing just to help Jolteon. I'm sure no one would have any objections to this. Hell yeah. Alright, here is the tier list. And yeah, I don't think you're surprised by this. Obviously, some Pokemon like Jinx can do a little bit better, because Jinx can, at the very least, not get hit super effectively by Blizzard or Thunderbolt, but still can't really hurt Darkrai. And some Pokemon like Starmie, if it gets lucky, if it misses a Dark Void, it can paralyze Darkrai, or if the Darkrai is already paralyzed, Starmie could be able to do something, assuming it doesn't get crit by a Thunderbolt. But what do you think? Do you think Darkrai would be way too overpowered for Gen 1? Do you think he would actually be better than Mewtwo in Gen 1 Ubers? And most importantly, would Darkrai still be dominant if it had Hypnosis instead of Dark Void? I am very, very interested to see what you guys have to say. And until next time, I hope you all have a happy Halloween, and I look forward to hearing from you. That is, of course, unless today you die. Ooh. Ooh. Boo.